Jae-woo looked out the window of the shuttle as it moved toward the huge space station. His hands were sweating inside his formal diplomatic suit. He still could not believe he was here. 3 weeks ago, he was fixing broken machines in the engineering bay on Earth. Now he was going to meet aliens for the first time in human history. "Stop looking so worried," said Hyun-ki, his best friend who sat next to him. "You know more about quantum technology than anyone else on this ship." Jae-woo shook his head. "That doesn't make me a diplomat. I don't know how to talk to important people, let alone aliens." So Jin, the team's alien expert, looked up from her tablet. "Just remember what we learned in the briefings. The Lumerians are very formal. They follow strict rules about who can talk to whom. Never speak to their royalty unless they speak to you first." The shuttle docked with Nexus Station, a massive structure built just for these meetings. As they walked through the corridors, Jae-woo saw hundreds of humans and aliens working together to prepare for the historic talks. The station buzzed with excitement and fear. The human delegation gathered in a large meeting room. Ambassador Chen stood at the front looking serious. "Today we meet the Lumerian Empire," she said. "They control technology we desperately need. Our planet is dying from energy shortages. These talks could save billions of lives." Jae-woo felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. Earth's power systems were failing. Cities went dark for hours each day. People were starting to panic. The Lumerians had energy technology that could solve everything, but they wanted something from humans in return. "What do they want from us?" asked another diplomat. "Our quantum research," Ambassador Chen replied. "Somehow we discovered things about quantum mechanics that even they don't understand. They're willing to trade their energy technology for our knowledge." The briefing continued with more information about Lumerian culture. They were beings made of living crystal, with skin that changed colors based on their emotions. They lived for thousands of years and built an empire across dozens of star systems. Their society had strict rules about respect and hierarchy. Most importantly, Sojin said, never comment on their appearance. In their culture, talking about how someone looks is very personal. Only married couples do that. 2 hours later, the moment arrived. The doors to the main assembly hall opened and the human delegation walked inside. The room was enormous with a high ceiling that showed the stars outside. On one side sat the humans. On the other side were the aliens. Jae-woo stopped breathing when he saw them. The Lumerians looked like living statues made of colored glass. Light seemed to flow under their transparent skin. They moved with grace and beauty that hurt to watch. It was like seeing gods walking among mortals. At the center of the alien delegation sat their leader, Emperor Thelvos. His crystal body glowed with deep red and gold colors. Next to him sat a figure that made Jae-woo's heart skip. The being was smaller than the Emperor, with skin that shifted between purple and blue like a sunset sky. Starlight seemed to dance beneath the surface. "Princess Velnara," Sojin whispered. "The Emperor's daughter. She leads their negotiation team." Jae-woo could not look away. He had seen beautiful things before. Sunrises over mountains, perfect flowers, his mother's smile. But this was different. Princess Velnara was beautiful in a way that made him understand why ancient humans thought aliens were angels. The formal ceremony began. Both sides spoke careful words about peace and cooperation. The Emperor's voice sounded like music played on crystal bells. When Princess Velnara spoke, her voice was softer, but just as beautiful. "We come seeking knowledge," she said in perfect, human language. "Your species has discovered secrets of quantum mechanics that we wish to learn. In exchange, we offer our mastery of energy manipulation." Ambassador Chen responded with equally formal words. "Humanity welcomes this opportunity. For cooperation, we hope to build a friendship that lasts for generations. The real negotiations would start tomorrow. Today was just for introductions and ceremony. But already, Jae-woo could see problems. The Lumerians seemed cold and distant. They never smiled or showed emotion. Every word was carefully chosen. The humans, by comparison, seemed loud and messy. During a break, Hyun-ki pulled Jae-woo aside. You look like someone hit you with a hammer. Did you see her? Jae-woo asked. The princess? Yeah, she's different. She's incredible. I've never seen anything so beautiful in my life. Yoon-ki looked worried. Remember what Sojin said. Don't talk about their appearance, it's against their culture. I know, I'm not stupid. But Jae-woo's mind kept wandering back to Princess Velnara. During the rest of the ceremony, he found himself watching her instead of listening to the speeches. The way the light played across her crystal skin was hypnotic. When she turned her head, colors flowed like water under glass. The ceremony ended with both sides promising to work hard for success. As the delegations prepared to leave, Jae-woo got one more look at the princess. For just a moment, their eyes met across the room. Her crystal face showed no expression, but something in her gaze seemed sad and lonely. That night, Jae-woo lay in his small room on the station, staring at the ceiling. Tomorrow, the real work would begin. Engineers and scientists from both species would share their knowledge. He would finally get to do what he was good at, solving technical problems. But he could not stop thinking about Princess Velnara. There was something about her that went beyond her alien beauty. In that brief moment when their eyes met, he had seen something familiar, something human, if that was possible. Hyun-ki was right to worry. Jae-woo knew he was in danger of making a mistake. The last thing the human delegation needed was for some nobody engineer to cause problems with alien royalty. He had to focus on his job and forget about impossible things. Outside his window, the stars looked the same as they did from Earth, but everything else had changed. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe. Tomorrow would bring challenges no human had ever faced before. Jae-woo closed his eyes and tried to sleep. In his dreams, he saw crystal skin and flowing light, and a pair of alien eyes that seemed to be asking for something he did not understand. The next morning brought the first real negotiation session. Jae-woo sat at a large table with other human experts while the Lumerian delegation sat across from them. Princess Velnara led the alien team, her crystal skin showing calm blue colors. We will begin with energy manipulation techniques, Princess Velnara announced. Her voice was formal and cold, nothing like the warmth Jae-woo had imagined in his dreams. Ambassador Chen nodded. We are ready to observe your demonstration. In return, Dr. Park will explain our quantum resonance discoveries. The princess stood up and moved to the center of the room. She raised her hands, and suddenly the air around her began to glow. Light appeared from nowhere, forming complex patterns that twisted and danced. The patterns grew larger and more detailed, creating what looked like a three-dimensional map of energy flows. Jae-woo watched in amazement as the princess manipulated pure energy with her bare hands. She created spirals of light that spun faster and faster, then made them split into hundreds of smaller lights that moved like a flock of birds. The display was so beautiful it made his chest hurt. The other humans took notes and asked technical questions. The princess answered in her careful, formal voice, explaining how her people learned to control energy at the quantum level. But Jae-woo was not listening to her words anymore. He was watching her face as she worked. For the first time since he met her, Princess Velnara looked alive. Her crystal skin glowed brighter, and colors flowed across it like aurora in the sky. When she created something particularly complex, her eyes lit up with what looked like joy. She was not just demonstrating technology, she was creating art. The demonstration reached its peak when the princess brought all the separate lights together into one massive, swirling galaxy of energy. It spun slowly above their heads, beautiful, beyond description. Every human in the room stared up at it with open mouths. That was when Jae-woo made his mistake. That's absolutely beautiful, he said, his voice loud in the quiet room. You're beautiful. The words came out before he could stop them. He had been thinking them for so long that they just spilled out naturally, like water from an overflowing cup. The effect was immediate and terrible. Princess Velnara's crystal skin flashed brilliant white, so bright that everyone had to look away. The energy galaxy above them exploded into 1,000 pieces of light that faded and died. When the light cleared, the princess was falling. Jae-woo jumped up to catch her, but Lumerian guards were faster. They surrounded the princess as she collapsed, her crystal body becoming completely transparent. Jae-woo had never seen anything like it. She looked like she was made of clear glass. "What did you do to her?" roared Emperor Thelvos, appearing as a hologram in the room. His crystal form blazed with angry red light that hurt to look at. I don't know," Jae-woo stammered. "I just said she was beautiful." The Emperor's rage grew brighter. Other Lumerian officials appeared, their crystal bodies showing colors of shock and anger. They spoke rapidly in their own language, pointing at Jae-woo. "He attacked the princess," shouted one of them in broken human language. "No," Jae-woo protested. "I didn't attack anyone, I just spoke." Hyun-ki grabbed Jae-woo's arm. "What did you do?" "Nothing. I gave her a compliment." So-jin's face went pale. "Oh no. Oh no, no, no." Ambassador Chen stepped forward, trying to take control. "Your Majesty, this was clearly a misunderstanding. My engineer meant no harm." "Harm?" The Emperor's voice shook the room. "He has done something to my daughter that we do not understand. She has never reacted this way to anything." The Lumerian guards formed a circle around the unconscious princess. Medical equipment appeared from somewhere, and alien doctors began working on her transparent form. Her crystal body lay completely still, like a statue made of clear ice. "His eyes, she hurt?" Jae-woo asked, trying to get closer. A Lumerian guard blocked his way with some kind of energy weapon. "Stay back, human." So-jin pulled out her medical scanner and tried to help, but the aliens would not let her near the princess. "I'm a doctor," she said. "Let me examine her." "No human will touch the princess again," said the lead guard. For 20 minutes, chaos filled the room. Human and alien officials argued while the doctors worked on Princess Velnara. Jae-woo stood in the middle of it all, feeling helpless and confused. He still did not understand what he had done wrong. Finally, one of the alien doctors stood up. "The princess lives," he announced, "but she is in deep shock. We have never seen this condition before." Emperor Thelvos's hologram turned toward Jae-woo. "What poison did you speak? What curse did you put on my daughter?" "I didn't curse anyone," Jae-woo shouted back, finally losing his temper. "I told her she was beautiful. On my world, that's a good thing." The room went silent. Every alien in the space stared at Jae-woo with expressions he could not read. Their crystal bodies showed colors he had not seen before, deep purples and strange greens. "Beautiful?" whispered one of the Lumerian officials. "You called the princess beautiful?" asked another. "Yes, because she is. Anyone with eyes can see that." The aliens began talking to each other in rapid musical voices. Their crystal bodies flickered with changing colors like warning lights. Finally, the Emperor's hologram spoke again. "In 3,000 years of galactic history," he said slowly, "no being has ever dared to comment on the appearance of Lumerian royalty. What you have done is beyond our understanding." Ambassador Chen stepped forward again. "Your Majesty, we need time to study this situation. Cultural exchange requires patience." "Time?" The Emperor's rage returned. "My daughter lies unconscious because of your humans' words. You have 24 hours to explain what magic you have used on her. If you cannot, all negotiations end forever. Your species will never be welcome in Lumerian space again." The hologram disappeared, leaving the humans alone with guards and medical staff. Princess Velnara was carefully lifted onto some kind of floating stretcher, still transparent and unconscious. As they carried her away, Jae-woo got one last look at her crystal face. Even unconscious, even transparent, she was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. "Well," said Hyun-ki quietly, "you've really done it now." Ambassador Chen turned to Jae-woo with fire in her eyes. "Do you understand what you've just cost us? Billions of lives depend on these negotiations." Jae-woo looked down at his hands. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt anyone." "Sorry isn't enough," the ambassador said. "We have 24 hours to fix this or Earth dies in darkness." As guards escorted Jae-woo to detention, he wondered how 3 simple words could destroy everything. But deep in his heart, he could not regret what he had said. Princess Velnara was beautiful, and someone needed to tell her that, even if it cost him everything. Jae-woo sat in a small detention room with 2 guards watching him. One was human, one was Lumerian. The alien guard's crystal skin showed steady orange colors that probably meant alertness or duty. Neither guard spoke to him. Hours passed slowly. Jae-woo tried to understand what had gone wrong. He had given the princess a compliment. On Earth, people said nice things about each other all the time. How could words cause someone to collapse? The door opened, and Ambassador Chen walked in, with Sojin and a Lumerian official Jae-woo had not seen before. The alien's crystal skin was pale yellow with silver streaks. "This is Cultural Attaché Morthan," Sojin said. "He's going to explain what happened." The alien official looked at Jae-woo with what might have been curiosity. "You are the human. Who spoke forbidden words to Princess Velnara?" "I told her she was beautiful," Jae-woo said. "How is that forbidden?" Morthan's crystal body flickered with different colors. "In our society, physical appearance is never discussed openly. To comment on someone's looks is the most intimate act possible between Lumerians. It is done only between life mates who have bonded forever." Sojin leaned forward. "It's like you proposed marriage to her in front of everyone." Jae-woo's mouth fell open. "What? No, I just thought she was pretty." "Pretty?" Morthan repeated the word like it was foreign. "This concept does not translate well. Lumerians do not think in terms of physical beauty. We judge worth by age, wisdom, and social position." "But she is beautiful," Jae-woo insisted. "Anyone can see that." The alien official's skin showed deep purple colors. "Princess Velnara has always been different. Her crystal patterns are unusual for our species. Many consider them strange, not pleasing." Ambassador Chen looked confused. "Strange how?" "Her colors are too bright, too changeable. Most Lumerians have steady, predictable skin tones that show their social rank clearly. The princess's skin shifts constantly between colors that should not mix. It makes others uncomfortable." Jae-woo felt angry. "That's what makes her beautiful, the way the colors flow and change." "No one has ever told her this," Morthan said quietly. "Since childhood, she has lived apart from others. Royal blood keeps people at distance, but her strange appearance makes the distance even greater." So Jin was taking notes rapidly. "So she's never received personal compliments before?" "Never. Royal children are praised for their wisdom, their duty, their service to the empire. Personal comments about their bodies or faces are absolutely forbidden. Princess Velnara has lived 2,300 years without anyone speaking of her appearance." The room was quiet while everyone absorbed this information. Finally, Jae-woo asked, "How is she now? Is she hurt?" "That is unclear," Morthan admitted. "Our doctors say her body is healthy, but her mind is experiencing something we do not recognize. She remains conscious now, but barely speaks. Can I see her?" "Absolutely not," Ambassador Chen said quickly. "You've done enough damage." But Morthan tilted his crystal head thoughtfully. "Actually, she has asked to speak with him." Everyone stared at the alien official. "What?" Sojin asked. "Princess Velnara woke up 3 hours ago. The first words she spoke were, 'Where is the human who saw me?' She has requested a private conversation." Ambassador Chen shook her head. "That's impossible. Security won't allow it." "Emperor Thelvos has given permission," Morthan said. "The conversation will be monitored, but she insists on speaking to him alone." An hour later, Jae-woo found himself in a small room with a communication screen. On the other side of the screen, Princess Velnara appeared. She looked different now. Her crystal skin was dimmer than before, showing soft silver and pale blue colors. "Hello, Jae-woo," she said. Her voice was quieter. Then he remembered. "Princess, I'm sorry," he said immediately. "I didn't mean to hurt you or cause problems. I just spoke without thinking." "You called me beautiful," she said. "Yes, because you are." Her crystal skin flickered with brief gold colors. "No one has ever used that word about me before." "That's crazy." You're the most beautiful being I've ever seen. Princess Velnara was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke again, her voice was barely a whisper. In our language, we have no word that matches your beautiful. We have words for appropriate and proper and fitting for one's rank, but not beautiful. That's sad, Jae-woo said honestly. I have spent my life being told I am appropriate for my position as princess. I am proper in my duties. I fit my rank adequately, though my appearance causes some concern among the nobles. Concern about what? My crystal patterns are unstable. Normal Lumerians show steady colors that match their social position. I change constantly. Some think it shows weakness of character. Jae-woo leaned closer to the screen. It shows that you're alive. It shows that you feel things deeply. That's not weakness. That's strength. Her skin brightened slightly. When you spoke those words yesterday, something happened inside me. I felt, I do not have words for it. What did you feel? Like I was seen for the first time. Not as a princess, not as a duty or a responsibility, but as myself, as Velnara. Jae-woo's heart ached for her. You've been alone your whole life, haven't you? Surrounded by thousands of people, but yes, alone. They talked for another hour. Princess Velnara asked questions about human culture, especially about how humans expressed feelings and formed friendships. Jae-woo told her about his life on Earth, his work as an engineer, his friendship with Hyun-ki. You choose your own friends? She asked with wonder. Of course, don't you? I speak only with those my father approves. I have never chosen anything for myself except my studies. When their time was up, Princess Velnara looked directly into the camera. Jae-woo, thank you for seeing me. Thank you for letting me talk to you. The negotiations will continue tomorrow. My father is still angry, but he has agreed to one more chance. Will you be there? Her crystal skin showed the brightest colors he had seen from her yet. Warm, golds and gentle greens. Yes, I want to see the human who taught me a new word. After the screen went dark, Jae-woo sat alone in the room for a long time. He understood now what had happened. Princess Velnara had collapsed not from injury or insult, but from the shock of recognition. For the first time in her long life, someone had looked at her and seen not a title or a duty, but a person worth admiring. The door opened and Hyun-ki came in. How did it go? She's not angry, Jae-woo said. She's grateful. Grateful? Jae-woo looked up at his friend. I think I just made first contact with someone who's been waiting her whole life to be contacted. The negotiations resumed 3 days later, but everything had changed. Princess Velnara sat at the alien delegation table, but her crystal skin showed colors that made the other Lumerians uncomfortable. Instead of the steady blues and purples of royalty, she displayed shifting golds and warm greens that sparkled with inner light. Jae-woo tried to focus on the technical discussions, but he found himself watching the princess. Every time she spoke, her skin brightened. When she listened to human explanations of quantum theory, colors flowed across her crystal body like excited thoughts made visible. The formal sessions went better than expected. Both sides shared technology and knowledge. The humans demonstrated their quantum resonance devices while the Lumerians showed their energy manipulation techniques. But the real progress happened during the breaks. Princess Velnara began arriving early to each session, and, staying late, she would walk around the room, studying human equipment and asking questions about how things worked. At first, she spoke only to the senior diplomats, but gradually, she began talking to everyone. Your tablet device, she said to Hyun-ki during one break. How does it store so much information in such a small space? Hyun-ki explained human computer technology while the princess listened with obvious fascination. Her skin showed colors that looked like joy and curiosity mixed together. On our world, we store information in crystal matrices that require rooms, full of equipment, she said. Your way is much more elegant. So Jin overheard and joined the conversation. Would you like to see more human technology? I have medical scanners that might interest you. For the next hour, Princess Velnara examined human devices like a child discovering toys. She asked hundreds of questions about how humans designed things to be small and portable. When Sojin showed her a medical scanner that could fit in a pocket, the princess's skin blazed with golden light. "Remarkable," she whispered. "You make beautiful things that are also useful." "Beautiful?" Sojin asked, glancing at Jae-woo. "Yes," the princess said firmly. "This scanner is beautiful because it helps people. That is beauty, when something serves a good purpose with elegance and skill." Other humans began gathering around to listen. Princess Velnara seemed different from the formal royal they had met before. She laughed at jokes and asked personal questions about their lives on Earth. Her skin showed brighter and warmer colors with each conversation, but not everyone was happy about the change. Jae-woo noticed that the other Lumerians watched their princess with worried expressions. Their crystal bodies showed dark colors that probably meant disapproval or fear. On the fifth day, Cultural Attaché Morthan approached Jae-woo privately. "We need to talk," the alien official said. They met in a small conference room away from the main negotiations. Morthan's crystal skin showed troubled purple and gray colors. "Princess Velnara is changing," he said without introduction. "She seems happier," Jae-woo replied. "That is the problem. Lumerian royalty does not show personal happiness. We show dignity, duty, and service to the Empire." Jae-woo felt frustrated. "What's wrong with being happy?" "It makes others uncomfortable. The princess's behavior is becoming unpredictable. Yesterday she laughed at a joke your friend Hyun-ki made. Lumerian royalty does not laugh in public. Maybe they should." Morthan's skin flashed with alarm colors. "You do not understand. Our society depends on stability and predictable behavior from leaders. If Princess Velnara continues to act like a common person instead of royalty, it could cause serious problems." "What kind of problems?" "Some of our delegation want to end the negotiations immediately. They believe your human emotions are corrupting the princess. They think she is becoming too much like you." Jae-woo stood up angrily. "Being like us isn't a disease. To many Lumerians it is. We have built our civilization on order, hierarchy, and emotional control. Your species represents chaos to us." That afternoon, the situation got worse. Princess Velnara was demonstrating an energy manipulation technique when Hyun-ki made a comment about how the light patterns reminded him of fireworks from Earth festivals. The princess asked what fireworks were, and Hyun-ki began describing human celebrations. "You gather together just to create beautiful lights in the sky?" the princess asked with wonder. "Sure," Hyun-ki said. "Sometimes we celebrate just because it's fun." "Fun?" She repeated the word like it was magical. "Haven't you ever done something just because it was fun?" Princess Velnara thought for a long moment. "No," she said finally. "Everything I do serves the Empire or fulfills my duties. I do not think I have ever experienced fun." Her crystal skin began showing new colors, bright yellows and excited oranges that seemed to dance across her body. The other Lumerians in the room backed away, their own skin showing alarmed reds and defensive purples. "Your Highness," said one of the alien officials, "perhaps we should return to the formal presentations." "No," Princess Velnara said, and her voice was stronger than Jae-woo had ever heard it. "I want to learn more about human celebrations. Tell me about these fireworks." The Lumerian official's crystal body blazed with shock. A princess had just refused a suggestion from her advisor, something that apparently never happened in their society. The session ended early with tense discussions among the alien delegation. Through the walls, Jae-woo could hear musical voices raised in what sounded like argument. The human team gathered to discuss what they had witnessed. "She's becoming more human," Sojin observed. "The way she asks questions, shows curiosity, expresses emotions. It's like she's learning to be a person instead of just a royal symbol." Ambassador Chen looked worried. "That might not be good for our negotiations. If her own people think she's been corrupted by human contact." "Maybe that's exactly what needs to happen," Jae-woo said quietly. Everyone turned to look at him. "What do you mean?" asked Hyun-ki. Maybe Princess Velnara was never supposed to be just a royal symbol. Maybe she was supposed to be herself, and her people never let her try. That's a dangerous thought, Ambassador Chen warned. If we're seen as deliberately changing their princess... She was interrupted by an alarm. Emergency lights flashed throughout the station and automated voices announced a security alert. Guards ran through the corridors while officials shouted orders in multiple languages. Morthon appeared in their meeting room, his crystal body showing colors of extreme distress. "There has been an incident," he announced. "What kind of incident?" Ambassador Chen demanded. "Princess Velnara has left the Lumerian quarters without permission or escort. She is missing somewhere on this station." "Missing?" Jay-Wu jumped up. "Is she in danger?" "Not from enemies," Morthon said grimly. "But if the hardline faction of our delegation finds her first, she may be in great trouble indeed. Some of them believe she should be sent home immediately for mental rehabilitation." "Mental rehabilitation?" "Treatment to remove human influence from her mind, to make her a proper princess again." Jay-Wu was already heading for the door. "We have to find her first." "Jay-Wu, wait," Ambassador Chen called, but he was already running into the corridor. Behind him, he heard Hyun-Ki and So-Jin following. Somewhere on the huge station, Princess Velnara was alone and scared, probably experiencing freedom for the first time in her life. The hardliners wanted to take that freedom away before she could truly understand what it meant. Jay-Wu ran faster, following his instincts toward the observation decks where someone might go to think and watch the stars. Princess Velnara had spent her life being told what to do and how to feel. Now she was finally learning who she really was. He was not going to let anyone stop her. Jay-Wu found Princess Velnara on the highest observation deck of the station. She stood alone at the massive window that showed the galaxy spread out like diamonds on black cloth. Her crystal skin glowed with soft silver light that reflected in the glass. "Princess?" he called softly. She turned toward him, and he saw that her face showed colors he had never seen before. Deep purples mixed with gold, creating patterns that looked like sadness and hope fighting each other. "Jay-Wu," she said. "I knew you would find me. Everyone is looking for you. Your people are worried. My people want to send me home for treatment," she said bitterly. "They think human emotions are a sickness that can be cured." Jay-Wu moved closer to the window. "Is that why you left?" "I left because I wanted to choose something for myself. For the first time in 2,300 years, I wanted to make one decision that was mine alone." Her skin brightened. "I chose to watch the stars and think about what you taught me." "What did I teach you?" "That I am beautiful. That I am worth seeing as myself, not just as a title or a duty." She looked back at the stars. "I have been thinking about human words. Beautiful, fun, choice, friend. We have no real words for these things in our language. Maybe you need new words. Maybe we need a new way of living." They stood quietly for a moment, watching distant suns burn in the darkness. Then Princess Velnara spoke again, her voice stronger than before. "Jay-Wu, I have made a decision. When my father arrives tomorrow for the final negotiations, I am going to renounce my claim to the throne." "What?" Jay-Wu spun to face her. "You can't do that." "Why not? I never chose to be princess. It was decided for me before I was born. But now I have learned that there are other ways to live. Your people need you. My people need a leader who will serve them properly. That is not me. I want to learn about other worlds, other ways of thinking. I want to choose my own path." Before Jay-Wu could respond, the sound of running feet echoed through the corridors. A group of Lumerian officials burst onto the observation deck, led by several guards in formal armor. Their crystal bodies showed angry red colors. "Princess Velnara," said their leader, a tall alien whose skin blazed with authority, "you will return to quarters immediately." "No," the princess said calmly. The Lumerian official's crystal body flashed with shock. "Your Highness, you are not thinking clearly. Human influence has confused your mind. My mind has never been clearer. Princess Velnara stepped forward, and her skin began showing the brightest colors Jay-Woo had ever seen from her, golds and silvers and warm greens that made her look like a living aurora. I am tired of being told what to think and how to feel and who I am allowed to speak with. You are Princess of the Lumerian Empire, the official said firmly. That is who you are. That is a title I was given. It is not who I am. More people arrived. Human security guards, diplomats from both sides, and finally a hologram of Emperor Thelvos himself. The Emperor's crystal form burned with colors so bright they hurt to look at. "Daughter," he said, his voice like thunder. "What is the meaning of this behavior?" Princess Velnara faced her father without fear. "Father, I am renouncing my inheritance. I will not be your successor." The Emperor's rage blazed brighter. "Impossible. You are my heir. The succession cannot be changed." "I am changing it. I choose a different life." "You choose nothing," the Emperor roared. "You are Princess of the Lumerian Empire. That is not a job you can quit." "Then I choose to be a terrible princess," she replied, and her skin showed colors that looked like laughter. "I choose to be happy instead of dignified. I choose to ask questions instead of giving orders. I choose to make friends instead of subjects." The watching crowd fell silent. Humans and aliens stared at the confrontation between father and daughter that was happening in front of them. Ambassador Chen looked terrified that the negotiations would collapse entirely. Emperor Thelvos studied his daughter for a long moment. When he spoke again, his voice was quieter but still dangerous. "The humans have poisoned your mind." "The humans have opened my mind," Princess Velnara corrected. "They have shown me that there are other ways to live besides duty and hierarchy, and loneliness." Loneliness. For the first time, the Emperor's colors showed something besides anger, a flicker of what might have been pain. "Yes, father. I have been alone my entire life, surrounded by people who feared me or worshipped me or obeyed me but never knew me, never saw me as Velnara instead of princess." She gestured toward Jay-Woo. "This human looked at me and saw something worth admiring. Not my title, not my power, not my usefulness to the Empire. He saw me." Emperor Thelvos's hologram turned toward Jay-Woo with blazing eyes. "You. What did you do to my daughter?" Jay-Woo felt everyone watching him. Humans who feared he would destroy the negotiations. Aliens who thought he had corrupted their princess. But when he looked at Princess Velnara, he saw her crystal skin showing warm, encouraging colors. "I told her she was beautiful," he said simply. "Because she is. And then I listened to her. I talked to her like she was a person instead of a symbol. I became her friend." "Friend?" The Emperor repeated the word slowly. "This is a human concept." "It's a universal concept," Jay-Woo said, finding courage he did not know he had. "Every being needs someone who sees them for who they really are. Your daughter has been starving for that her whole life." The Emperor's colors flickered and changed. For a moment he looked almost uncertain. "She has duties, responsibilities. She has dreams too," Jay-Woo said. "Hopes and curiosity and the right to choose her own path. If she abandons her throne, our empire could fall into chaos." Princess Velnara stepped forward. "Or it could grow into something better. Father, what if we created a new kind of empire? One where people followed leaders because they wanted to, not because they had to. Where we worked together instead of ruling over each other?" The Emperor was quiet for a long time, his crystal body cycling through colors of confusion and deep thought. Finally, he spoke. "This is not a decision to make quickly," he said. "We will return to the negotiations tomorrow. All of us will think carefully about what has been said here today." As the crowd began to disperse, Princess Velnara approached Jay-Woo. Her skin now showed steady, warm gold colors that seemed to come from deep inside her crystal body. "Thank you," she said quietly. "For what?" "For seeing me. For teaching me that I was worth seeing." The next day brought the final negotiation session, but it was unlike anything anyone had expected. Princess Velnara entered the chamber wearing Simple clothes instead of royal robes, and her crystal skin glowed with confident gold and silver colors. "Before we discuss technology trades," she announced, "I want to propose something new, not just an alliance between our species, but a cultural exchange program. Humans and Lumerians living and learning together, sharing ideas and perspectives." Emperor Thelvos, attending in person for the first time, watched his daughter with an expression that might have been pride. And who would lead this program? Princess Velnara looked directly at Jay-Woo. "I volunteer to be the first Lumerian ambassador to human space, and I hope Jay-Woo will be the first human ambassador to our worlds." The room erupted in discussion, but Jay-Woo only heard his own heartbeat. Princess Velnara was choosing to leave everything she had known to explore new possibilities. She was choosing friendship and understanding over power and tradition. "I accept," he said, and her crystal skin blazed with joy. 6 months later, Jay-Woo stood on the bridge of a human ship approaching the Lumerian home system. Princess Velnara, who now insisted everyone call her just Velnara, worked beside him as they prepared for humanity's first visit to the alien capital. Her crystal skin now permanently showed the warm gold and silver colors that had appeared when she first chose her own path. She had never looked more beautiful, and Jay-Woo told her so every day. "Ready for the next adventure?" she asked him. "With you?" "Always," he replied. Through the ship's windows, alien suns blazed with promise. Two species that had been alone in the universe were learning to be alone no longer, and it all started because someone finally told a lonely princess that she was beautiful.